So we are at the end of week 6. So what did we cover in week 6? A whole bunch of neat stuff. First we started the second chapter, the second part of the book, which was mitigating risk, control systems, authentication, and PKI. As I said, we split the class up into 3 basic sections for the tests and stuff. So last week, chapter 5, you had one of your midterms. So for this business challenges, what do we have to do as a business to ensure that our company is running? We talked about business continuity. Sorry. How do we make sure that if something, a disaster happens, we're going to stay in business? Flooding, rain, fire, snowstorms, hurricanes. It could be anything. It could just be as simple as New York last week. A couple of weeks ago, they had a steam pipe burst. Well, buildings were closed for 3-4 weeks. If you were in one of those buildings, your business, what would happen to you? That is what we went over. How do we stay in business when all this stuff is going around? What is your backup plan? Do you have your data off-site? Do you have a cold spot, a hot spot, where you have information being in? What are you going to do with your employees? Are they going to be able to dial in remotely, or do they have to go to another building? You have an off-site building. This is some of the things that we need to look at. What is disaster recovery? So you've got to have something in plan, but not only that, you got to practice it. I know where I worked, we had a disaster plan. We have a Philly office, we have a New Jersey office. And once a year, we'd either send all the people from New Jersey down to the Philly office and do a load test on it to make sure everyone can get in, remote access, who can dial from home. Some people can work from home, others could not. So these are the things we'd spell out, saying these, we'd sit down, top management would go over the plan, make sure it was viable, and what would we do? Where I worked, one year we got hit by a hurricane. We were without power for I think 10 to 11 days. Another day we got hit with a snowstorm at the freak snowstorm end of October. Still leaves on the tree. We were without a week. So we have a generator in place to make sure it is, but we couldn't bring anyone into the building, so we had to set up remote access. And we tested this. It's one of the things you need to do. Then it gets down to the point. Well, how much risk are you willing to take? If our building shut down, that's fine. We can be out of business for a day. But that's a risk you have to take. How long do we need to do it? So can we avoid risk altogether? No, probably not. So you need to look into some of this. Obviously, we always have to look at the operating systems, applications. Who do we give rights to? How much rights did they get? These are some of the things that we looked at this week. What else did we cover? Software as a service. That's a very big thing nowadays. This way you don't have to worry about regulations. I know where I've used it. We dealt with the government. We used a third-party software, and they would do all the updates for us. We never had to worry about, government was constantly changing their systems. We never had to worry about it. We let them deal with it. So that's some of the things that we looked at. This week, you had to do, if you look under your assignments tab, you should have turned all this in. Remember, your weekly discussion question was due on Thursday at 11:59, at least 250 words. And then you had to respond to two of your classmates. Now, what I did this week, there was another video under the lecture notes. You could respond to that as one of your responses to your classmates. 2 to 3 page paper on the importance of access control in the business environment. You had your week 6 quiz, chapter 6, and your journal. Don't forget your journal. All this adds up. So, also what you had, remember, if you have any questions, please email me or use the student link to fill that in. Also, don't forget what made you smile this week. So, have a wonderful day. I will talk to you next week.